Artificial intelligence, or AI, is a useful tool for a lot of things. It can solve math problems, play games, and even drive cars. But nowadays, AI can actually be creative too and come up with completely original ideas, which have never been thought of before. High school students do a lot of writing, and oftentimes that writing involves some creativity. So I want to see if AI can be a helpful tool in writing a story. So my name is Danny, and I'm going to try writing a story using AI. Here's how this artificial intelligence website works. When you type in a sentence or part of a sentence into this box, the artificial intelligence generates more text based on that sentence. Websites like this can be found just by Googling text generation AI. I am going to try to write a story about a man named Pierce and his dog Ralph. So my input sentence is Pierce walked his dog Ralph down the street. Let's see what the AI comes up with. So here's what the AI came up with for us. Pierce walked his dog Ralph down the street. Fruity looked to meet her, but she quickly ran to him and hugged him. The rest of this is a little bit incoherent, but feel free to pause and read through the rest of it. So right now this story is a little bit incomprehensible, and it would probably not get me a great grade on an English paper. But I think I can use this as a starting off point to write the rest of the story myself and kind of fill in the gaps. After spending some time making what the AI gave me into a coherent story, here's what I came up with. This is pretty long, so for the sake of time, I'm not going to read through it. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And if you want to read through it yourself to see how my AI-assisted creative writing turned out, feel free to pause and read through it yourself. And there is a little bit of a twist at the end. There's not too much plot here, so I see this as kind of the start of a much longer creative writing piece. The story I wrote was a little bit goofy, but keep in mind that based on what the AI gives you, you can kind of go in whatever direction you want. And you can write a story with a more serious tone, or make it kind of a goofy story, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it. And you can also keep asking the AI for ideas until you find one that fits with what you're going for in your writing. So, is AI a good tool for creative writing? Well, the AI is definitely not going to write a whole story for you because it doesn't come up with very coherent ideas. That being said, it was helpful to have a starting off point with my writing, and I think this artificial intelligence could be very helpful for sparking ideas for writing and just speeding writing up, because if I had just sat down to write a story, it would have gone a lot slower than it did with the AI. It is important to note that using artificial intelligence to write is a little bit of a gray area in terms of plagiarism. So if you do write a story using AI and end up turning it into a class or publishing it in some way, make sure to cite your sources. So that is it for my attempt to write a story using artificial intelligence. Make sure to check out slpecho.com for more stories.